Hi. I'd like to take a few minutes today and introduce you guys to a product that every fisherman should have. The product I want to show you today is a rod sleeve. I'm sure many of you are familiar with it. If not, what I'd like to do is just kind of show you the benefits of it, how to use it, and then more importantly today, show you how to make your own. What a rod sleeve is basically expandable braided sleeving. Basically, electricians use this product to gather and harness wire together. And what fishermen are doing now is they're using it to protect their rods. Basically, it's real simple. As you can see, it has a trumpeted end, easily slides on, and then when you're ready to start fishing, it'll easily slide off. Some of the benefits of a rod sleeve are protection. As fishermen, we spend a lot of money on our equipment, and it's important that we protect it. And then secondly, it eliminates tangles. There's nothing worse than pulling up to your favorite fishing spot first thing in the morning with aspirations of throwing your topwater, and you go to reach in your locker, and instead of pulling out your favorite topwater bait, you pull out a mixture of 5 or 6 different rods. Really kind of ruins the morning, and it's not the way you want to start. So basically, there's only a few products that you need when you go about making this. First and foremost, the braided sleeving itself. This product here is called Flexopet. This is 3/4 inch braided sleeving. If you do a Google search, it'll come up. This is a 75-foot bulk spool. A 75-foot bulk spool will roughly do 15 7-foot rods. If you're going to go to a micro guide rod and you're going to use it for a micro guide rod, you probably want to downsize to, let's say, a 1/2 inch braided sleeving. If you're going to use it on a spinning rod, what I would recommend is, take a tape measure and measure from the base of your rod to the outside of your guide. For instance, this is about 2 inches. And then just search online. When you do a search for the braided sleeving, it'll actually give you the dimensions that it expands to. So you could probably get away with a 1 1/4 inch braided sleeving, because I believe it expands to about 2.5 inches. The nice thing about doing your own is that you can really customize it. And what I mean by that is, for instance, this is a frog rod that I have, and this is the Picasso Shadwalker. And if I'm not throwing this, I'm throwing some type of other frog. Typically, there's no treble hooks. So what I wanted to do was kind of get this rod sleeve as snug as possible. If this was, let's say, an Alabama rig rod, and I threw the Alabama rig a lot, this is the Picasso schoolie rig here, and I had this rigged up. You couldn't have that bait slide, you couldn't have the braided sleeving slide down as far as you'd like. So what you would want to do is just kind of measure from the tip of the rod to where you think the end of that line tie is going to be, and then just really customize the rod sleeve for whatever application you're going to be using. In addition to the braided sleeving, there's a few other simple products that you need. You probably want to get yourself what's called a hot knife. And this here is a hot knife. I picked this up off of eBay for about $25. The reason you want this product is when you go to cut the braided sleeving, you can use scissors, but it'll end up fraying the end. And what this does is, as you cut it, it actually melts it. Another neat thing that I use here is a piece of copper pipe. This is an inch copper pipe on the big side, and it downsizes to 3/4 inches. You'll see in a minute when I start walking through how to make it what I use this for, but it's a little tool that I use, and you'll see what it does is it helps you kind of get that trumpeted in, but we'll walk through that in a second. The other thing you'll need is just a lighter, some shrink tubing, and a utility knife. It's just pretty simple. So what you want to do is, depending on what rod you're going to use, you really would just want to measure out whatever length you want. And for instance, I think I have about 5 feet marked on here. So what you want to do is just kind of roll out 5 feet, warm up your hot knife. It takes a few minutes sometimes. It does get very hot, so please be careful when you use this. You know, if you can have someone assist you while you cut this, it definitely would help to kind of pull on the other end. Since I'm here by myself, what I'm going to do is just kind of split it with my fingers, um, and hopefully you'll be able to see. And then what you're going to want to do is, as soon as you cut through this, you want to drop the end that you have that you're going to make the rod sleeve with, and take the end that's still attached to the spool. As you can see, it's going to start to melt together. So what you want to do is just kind of get your finger in there quickly and open that up, and then that way it doesn't melt together and you don't waste any material. And then what I like to do is take this piece of copper tubing and start warming that up. And then what I'm going to do here is show you how to actually make that trumpeted end. So you basically just push in on that end there. It'll stick a little bit due to it melting. You can kind of open it up with your fingers. So there you have the trumpeted end. But what I like to do is kind of put it on this copper tubing, and by heating it up, it allows it to really take that shape. You can see it smoking a little bit. That's just the material that's on there burning off. But definitely be careful, because this does get hot, and you don't want to burn yourself. And you don't want to leave this on too long. As you can see, when I first did it, you could see there's some material that melted to that copper. So take it and just kind of use your hand and mold it on there. So now when you're ready to make another one, you already have that trumpeted end formed. All you have to do is measure the length of whatever length you want the rod sleeve, and then just go ahead and cut it again. So back to this. You know, this was our original trumpeted end. This is the piece that we just cut off of the bulk spool. What I like to do is just pretty much take this and fold it over. And then what I'll do is I'll take the hot knife and warm that up. Just kind of melt that together a little bit. And the reason you want to do that is it just kind of holds it together. So then in a minute you can get the shrink tubing on it. See that there? What I like to do sometimes is take a piece of foam, and you can wedge a piece of foam up in here. The reason I do that is I've heard of some guys losing their rod sleeves. If they're going down the lake, it'll blow off the boat. Or even if you're fishing, it's a pretty light material. If the wind picks up, the wind will blow it overboard. By wedging a piece of foam in there, it just kind of keeps it a little bit more buoyant, and it'll float it a little bit, and hopefully you can get to it in time and grab it. So you want to take your shrink tubing. This is 3/4 inch shrink tubing. And cut about 1 inch off. And go ahead and slide that on and just start melting it. You know, while I'm doing this, as far as what the material cost, the braided sleeving, that spool of 75 feet, I think I paid $40 for it. And then you can, like I said, you can get 15 rods done roughly. The heat gun itself, I got that off of eBay, and I think I spent $25. So it's not that expensive. And then of course the shrink tubing is, you know, pennies on the dollar. And usually you have a lighter laying around, and of course a utility knife. So then once I do that, kind of got that shrink tubing on there. If you see that excess material, what I like to do is kind of warm up the hot knife again. And then once that starts getting hot, just melt that. a pretty cool thing with this product is it does come in a lot of different colors, so you can really customize it and make it match. As you can see, I'm sure that you noticed, I'm a big iRod fan, and going with the green and black, it kind of matches it pretty cool. So I just like being able to really customize it. It's real simple to do. There you have it. So hopefully you guys can make your own, save yourself a little money. We're going to get this posted on the Picasso Facebook page. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I'll be more than happy to help you. Hopefully this will save you some money and you can buy some more fishing products. Thanks for checking out the video. Have a great day.